Barcelona side, so it's quite likely that Getafe will tire, Barca will have more of the ball, they'll get in behind the Getafe defence more and more, they'll create more and more chances, and they will eventually find that goal. They've got plenty of creativity on the field of play. Rakitic, Coutinho, Messi, Suarez, Alcácer. So I think they probably will, Simon. I think that's the short answer.
You pointed out the intensity tends to drop from Barca's rivals as the game gets to that 70-minute mark, more or less. Getafe has certainly played with plenty of intensity. Bruno Gonzalez, perhaps we could say, especially not always sticking to the spirit of the rules of the game, but also excellent, tough, battling performances by Portillo, by Damian Suarez and Túnez, and also by Fahir Ndiaye, with Angel and Shibasaki causing one or two problems to this novel centre-back pairing. Yerimina, Lucas Digne, marks out of 10 for their first half performance, Duncan?
I think very, very good. I think you'd probably... Digne hasn't put a foot wrong, and Yerimina gave away a couple of passes at the back. One when he looked the other way, and there was a sort of no-look pass, trying to show off a little bit at the Camp Nou in what's his first ever start. But yeah, they barely put a foot wrong, the two of them, in the first half. They didn't have too much work to do, it has to be said.
Well, the Camp Nou delighted to see warming up there Ousmane Dembélé, one of the signings over the summer. He got his first start in the game against Getafe back in round 4, and that was, of course, where he pulled up injured. Came back a little bit quicker than people expected, only to pick up another knock, and it would be interesting to see him, if possible, with Coutinho, Messi and Suarez, something the fans here in the Camp Nou very much looking forward to seeing.
Definitely, and another interesting fact about that game against Getafe, it was Paulinho's first goal as well, and that was still when that signing was being criticised. That was the first time Paulinho scored for Football Club Barcelona. It proved to be the winner in that game. So that was a game where I think certain fans started to feel slightly differently about the signing of the Brazilian Paulinho.
He's turned out to be absolutely superb, hasn't he? And certainly one of the men that Ernesto Valverde will be happiest with, I imagine. Doesn't give you problems if he's left on the bench. Comes on and does a job when he's in the starting lineup too. He's reliable, he's scoring goals, seems to be adapting brilliantly to his new life at Barcelona. The corner dealt with relatively easily, and Ndiaye getting away from Jordi Alba. Mina following him, down goes Amath and Ndiaye, but it's a throw in which is quickly taken by Barcelona. Busquets, that's a decent one, looking for Messi. It just curled away from the little genius into the hands of Vicente Whiter. Not too much there.
No, I don't think so, no. Just a strong challenge. Getafe, by the way, very much mirroring Barca's 4-4-2. It's Angel Rodriguez alongside Amath Ndiaye, who up front with a four-man midfield of Portillo, Gaku, Arambari and Faj.
Well, Getafe causing Barca one or two nervy moments on the edge of their box there. Again, play waved on. Coutinho, the man who was down. Earlier it was Sergio Roberto. And play waved on again. And Portillo very nearly linking with Ndiaye on the edge of the Barca box. They just managed to get it away. Rakitic. And that's a poor control from Sergio Roberto. It'll be a throw to Getafe. Came off Paco Alcácer. But Getafe have come out looking to attack Barca. Lovely football there from Philippe Coutinho.
Well, he definitely brings something different to this Barca side. The problem is Ernesto Valverde doesn't really know what his best 11 is and where Philippe Coutinho fits into that. He can play in so many different positions.
Shibasaki finding Angel. Angel looking for the shot. It takes a deflection. Ter Stegen avoiding the corner there.
I think probably we'll find that Coutinho is the answer to Barca's right-hand side problem. I think Coutinho probably is the best choice for that position on in right midfield, in a four-man midfield with Iniesta on the left, Busquets and Rakitic in the middle, and Coutinho over on the right-hand side with Messi and Suarez up front. That obviously means there's no place for Paulinho, and at the moment there'd be no place for Dembélé. So some very interesting questions for Ernesto Valverde.
Alba to Coutinho. Jordi Alba again. Finds the Brazilian. Coutinho tries a shot into the hands of Vicente Whiter. The fans love it though. It was on target like a heat-seeking missile directly into the gloves of Whiter. Yerry Mina with a defensive header. It was a long clearance, and this will be a corner for Getafe.
And this was almost Philip Coutinho special. How many times have we seen him do that in the Premier League for Liverpool? Cutting across the box on his right foot and bending it into the far corner. It really is a trademark Coutinho strike.
Andres Iniesta also warming up for Barcelona. Oh, it's a throw rather than a corner. Damian Suarez to take it. The home fans getting impatient. Good work there from Portillo. And that one just getting away from Angel, and he vents his frustration. It's been a very lively restart for Getafe here. And you were surprised to see just the one shot on target so far.
And that one shot came a couple of seconds ago from Philippe Coutinho. So just confirmation that there were no shots on target in the whole of the first half from either Getafe or Barca. Barca had more of the ball, but they really struggled to create anything. They did get the ball in the back of the net through Luis Suarez, but it didn't count. It was offside. So obviously that didn't go into the shots on target tally. But yeah, Getafe very well organised in the first half and restricted Barca to only half chances, none of which they got on target.
Yerry Mina with the ball in the Getafe half, supported by Leo Messi. And now Sergio Roberto. It's intercepted neatly by Fajir. That's a bit wasted though, and dealt with by Busquets. Lucas Digne. Digne to Jordi Alba. Coutinho. Back to Van Rakitic. He picks out a certain Leo Messi. Messi spotting the run for Sergio Roberto. So close to getting on the end of it. Paco Alcácer. Luis Suarez at the far post waiting. Instead it's Vicente Whiter who collects it.
And you can just see Paco Alcácer holding his head, because he knows that that was a glorious opportunity. In fact, I think he might have felt he got shoved in the face by, well, who else? Bruno Gonzalez, who's certainly putting it about a bit at the back, putting the odd challenge in, yep, and not just with his feet. We've seen elbows and forearms, and on that occasion hands. I don't think it was there was too much in that one. But Paco Alcácer knows that was a magnificent ball from Sergio Roberto in towards the front post, and that's where he should have been, really. That's where he is. That's where he lives on the football field. That's where he gets a lot of his goals, that near post darting run.
Throw into Getafe. And DIA. Well, I think Busquets felt he'd dispossessed him. The referee very, very quick to blow the whistle and get out the yellow card for Busquets, who doesn't complain. Another yellow for Sergio Busquets. And DIA takes his time getting to his feet. No contact on the ball from the Barca number 5.
No, it's clearly a foul and clearly a yellow card as well, because he stops what could have been a bit of a counter-attack for Getafe. Sergio Busquets, by the way, playing in his 300th La Liga game for Football Club Barcelona. If they go on to win this, he'll have won 230 of those 300 games, so not picking up the 3 points in just 70 matches, which is absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, we've got used to that kind of win percentage, haven't we, over the last few years in La Liga? But I mean, it is astonishing when you look at some of the great teams who have a win percentage of 50-55%, and Barcelona and Real Madrid up there with 70%, 80%. It's astonishing. The free kick driven low into the wall, takes a deflection for a corner for Getafe. And Barry, the man who took it, struck it firmly. I think it was going wide. Shibasaki in absolutely no rush to take the corner. And I'm not sure Fernandez Borbalan, the referee, is going to be too happy with that. I don't think he's going to allow too much more time wasting. But this is clearly taking a little bit longer than it should. He plays it short. It's whipped in by Portillo, dealt with by the defence, and it will be a goal kick to Football Club Barcelona.
Well, it's the second time that Getafe has won a header from a Getafe corner. In fact, I think both corners Getafe has won in the air. Neither header was directed on target, but he's a threat. He's not the biggest centre-back, but he's got a huge leap on him, and he's very, very good in the air.
Yeremina for Barca. Rakitic back to Busquets. Now Digne. Alba. That's a decent ball in towards Alcafe. Suarez just wide. And he knows that was a gilt-edged chance. It was so quick when it came. The ball slanted across the front of the area by Jordi Alba. Alcafe getting in there.
Oh, it's so clever from Alcafe.
And the flag stayed down.
Yeah, and he was onside. I think it quite rightly stayed down, but that was brilliant from Paco Alcafe. A deft touch through the defenders, right into the path of Suarez. It's all he could do from that position, and he did it absolutely perfectly. It was instinctive stuff from Paco Alcafe and from Luis Suarez. But he couldn't quite get his shot on target, the Uruguayan. Great effort, great move from Barca, and wonderful one-touch football.
And Túnez penalised there for the challenge on Leo Messi in the centre circle. Messi wants to take it quickly. Decides to leave it to Sergio Busquets. Now Ivan Rakitic, Sergio Roberto in space. Sergio Roberto cutting inside, trying to get away from Shibasaki. Finds Rakitic. Sergio Roberto again. Leo Messi, Busquets. Rakitic, Messi. Messi finding the head of Coutinho, who couldn't link with Suarez and couldn't link with Alcafe. Chance on the break. It's a real test. Look at the pace there of Ndiaye, and look at the reaction of Digne, who does brilliantly, does absolutely brilliantly.
Really, really good from the Barca centre-back. Well, the Barca left-back. Digne playing centre-back today, but he's looked calm and collected the entire match. And another brilliant example. He may have been outpaced, but he wasn't outthought, and it was excellent defending from the Frenchman.
Messi. That's a lovely ball for Alba. Alba first time. Bruno meeting it. Alba again. Back to Rakitic. Rakitic. Alba goes down. And swinging that one in Coutinho. It's a fantastic save from Whiter. Corner to Barca. Some of the players complaining that Alba was fouled there. But again, Coutinho looking very, very sharp. That's a fantastic left hand.
Yeah,
Vicente Whiter.
It's a really good save because Coutinho digs that one out from under his feet. It's bending in towards the far post. It's a really good save.
In comes the corner, headed clear by Mathan Ndiaye. It comes to Sergio Roberto. Coutinho back to Sergio Roberto. Coutinho again. It was a neat touch, well read in the end by Shibasaki.
You just get the feeling, Simon, Barca's just cranking up a gear at the moment.
Very much so. Everybody back now in those three lines for Getafe. Leo Messi on the ball, whips one in, and it very nearly fell to Jordi Alba. All the problems there for Daconem Getafe. He managed to get it away. It's Digne, isn't it? No, it's Alba indeed.
Yeah, you're spot on.
Getafe, well, he had a second bite of the cherry, managed to get it away. Another corner, swung in here. White off his line, didn't create it. It'll be corner number 3. Andres Iniesta.
And Dembélé as well.
Ready to go. Dembélé as well. Meanwhile, it's another corner. Coutinho to take it. Suddenly, the defence of Getafe just looking a little bit shakier. They've dealt with that one well, though. Digne was waiting. And there's one for Shibasaki to face. He's got Ndiaye with him. Ter Stegen, well, he misjudged it. And if that curling effort from the Japanese had hit the target, Mark ter Stegen was nowhere near where he should have been.
No, you're right, he was completely in no man's land, and Gaku Shibasaki could have made him look very foolish indeed.
It's Luis Suarez over the top for Coutinho, just bounced really awkwardly for the Brazilian. Well, you said Barcelona are cranking it up a little bit. The game has suddenly opened up completely.
It very much has, and this was one of the early efforts in the last few minutes as Barca have been completely on top, but then at the other end, as they were pushing on, Getafe caught them on the break. You saw, the goalkeeper ter Stegen going out to the ball, realising he wasn't going to make it, trying to turn back. I think he slipped over as well, maybe panicked slightly.
He did. It was a should I stay or should I go moment. Lost his balance and was caught, as you said, in no man's land. Shibasaki hits the target. It's 1-0 to Getafe. And Bordalas, well, he'll be concerned with some of the scenes in his own area, but he'll be very, very interested in the chance of catching Barca on the break. Here's Dakonam Jene. Picks out Portillo. That's good movement. Good first touch from Angel, and good defending from Yerry Mina.
Brilliant from Yerry Mina. Read it superbly well.
Lovely ball from Portillo.
But look how well it's judged by Yerry Mina. He doesn't slide in too early. He could have gone to ground here for the first touch, but he lets Angel take the touch, lets him take it around the goalkeeper, and is confident that there's absolutely no way he's going to get round him as well.
It's going to be a corner. Faisalfa here to take it. Iniesta and Dembele about to come on. Valverde won't make the change, just ahead of defending a corner, that's for sure. In it comes. Oh, that's well played. Oof. And absolutely rocketed there, just over the bar by Antunes. Very intelligent set piece there by Getafe.
Not intelligent defending from Barca though. He's completely on his own at the edge of the box, and it's a really good strike. Unlucky not to have got it on target, because that would have been a wonder goal.
Well, we're not going to see that dream situation. Iniesta coming on to replace Coutinho. Applause for both of them. And Dembele will come on, presumably, to replace
Paco
Alcácer, I would imagine. Yes, indeed. Decent performance from Alcácer.
Yeah.
I think he's shown intelligence, commitment to the cause, and caused one or two problems to the Getafe back four.
I think you're right. He's not been playing in his most comfortable position where he'd like to play. He's been playing on the right-hand side. But yeah, as you say, he's looked very good when he's had the ball. He's linked up very nicely with both Leo Messi and with Suarez at times, and he's done his job in defence. We've seen him tracking back an awful lot, so I'm absolutely sure that Ernesto Valverde will be very happy with his performance, even though we haven't probably seen too much of him, to be fair. And this was the strike from Antunes just now.
Well, we saw another long clearance for Angel to chase. On that occasion, ter Stegen, once again outside his box, was able to just watch the ball cross the line. Here's Alba giving a first touch to Andres Iniesta. Busquets, Rakitic. Dembele returns it to Iniesta. Well, Iniesta just perhaps a little bit slow to see Sergio Roberto's run into the area there. It'll be a goal kick. Vicente Whiter will be taking his own sweet time about it.
Iniesta with the captain's armband now that he's on the field of play, and I would have thought that Ernesto Valverde would like to have rested Iniesta today, but with an hour on the clock and the scoreline still 0-0, I think he's sort of had his hand forced a little bit, and he's had to put on the little genius to inspire a bit of creativity in the middle of the park.
Neat ball in to Ndiaye. That was always going away from the target. It'll be a throw to Football Club Barcelona. Angel starting to cause problems to the Barca defence.
Well, he's their top scorer this season with 8 goals, Angel. We've seen him coming on as a substitute a lot this season. He's been their super sub, and there's no question that there's a touch on that ball.
That's right, and that's what the referees pointed out, given the throw correctly to Getafe. Seeing Iniesta, I mean, the huge advantage Valverde has is the fact that there's no Champions League football this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a week to prepare the next one. There's a yellow card for time wasting. Antunes furious with his teammates, I think, for not offering him an option.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You saw him there screaming, I think, at Gaku Shibasaki, who just didn't move at all. Amath was trying to find a bit of space, but the Japanese didn't move whatsoever, and in the end he got a yellow card for time wasting.
And DIA gets the message, turns away from Sergio Roberto with ease. It's won quickly back. Rakitic first time, Messi first time, but gives it away. Gaku Shibasaki finding Fakir, he tries a shot. Well off target.
Yeah, immediately apologises to his teammates because he saw his name in lights, I think, for a second there, Fahir, and went for it, but certainly not the best option. And just to add to something you were saying earlier, Simon, I think when we talk about the possibility of seeing Coutinho, Dembele and Iniesta.
Here is Dembele, sorry to interrupt, Duncan, a lovely turn for him, nearly lost his footing, and Antunes responding well. Can't make his mind about the pass he wants to make. Dembele loses his footing for a second time, and it's Shibasaki coming back to help out.
Well, the skill there so good from Dembele. He even fooled himself and ended up slipping over.
Dembele again combining with Leo Messi. Messi being harried there by Fakir. Play on, says the referee. Messi takes advantage. Down he goes again. It'll be another free kick to Barcelona. And I think Busquets just having a word with referee Borbalan in general. As I said earlier in the first half, Getafe top all the tables in terms of intensity and aggression. And that's a very clear fault.
Well, watch this as Messi goes to ground. He's kicked in the face by Bruno. He's nowhere near the ball. Bruno kicks Messi, I'd say, deliberately in the face. That's not the first time that Bruno has committed a foul off the ball. We've seen him elbow Suarez in the face. We've seen pushes and shoves, and that time he kicks Messi in the face. Okay, it could well be accidental, but the ball had gone, hadn't it?
My idea on all this is very straightforward. Don't get Leo Messi angry. If you're going to kick him in the face, make sure he gets carried off. Otherwise, you've made a terrible mistake. And here is Messi stepping up. That one was off target, but you do not want to be defending in the last 20 minutes of a game against an angry and justifiably angry Leo Messi.
No, definitely not. And also, you saw the reaction from his teammates. You saw Sergio Busquets go over immediately. They've been playing with Leo Messi for many years now. They know that they're responsible for protecting him on the field of play. Of course, so too is the referee. That's pretty much his main job, to look after the skillful players. But Busquets and other Barca teammates know that they have to be there to protect Leo Messi, because he's capable of taking on and beating absolutely everyone, and he's going to get a kicking on occasions, especially when he's up against the likes of Bruno Gonzalez,
who has yet to really be spoken to by the referee in today's game. But I think David Fernandez Borbalan may be just erring on the side of allowing too much to go on out there on the pitch, as Dembele picks this one up. He's not got too much support, only Suarez with him. He tries to go to himself. It's Antunes who saves the day and clears. Rakitic flicking it back. It'll be collected by Digne. Here's Busquets. Rakitic. Messi to Jordi Alba. Alba controls. Supported by Iniesta. Busquets. Iniesta. Iniesta linking up with Alba, looking for the return ball. Oh, superb skill from Iniesta, keeps it in play. Just couldn't find the man. Barca not getting enough bodies in the area there to merit that superb bit of skill from Andres Iniesta.
He's just on fire at the moment, Andres Iniesta. The last few weeks, he's just looking like he's enjoying his football so much. We're seeing, I think, the best of Andres Iniesta.
Messi obviously thinks to it, so he gives him the ball back. Messi, Rakitic, just falling for Messi ahead of Shibasaki. Sergio Roberto back to Messi. Still Messi, gets into the area. Still Messi. Headed clear by Suarez. Advantage to Digne, under pressure from Ndiaye, he finds Busquets. Busquets, lovely ball over the top. Whiter was brave, Whiter read the danger, but the flag was up for offside anyway.
The problem is with this Barca side, there's so many players capable of playing that part. This is a classic Messi pass, we've seen Iniesta do it, but when your defensive midfielder is Sergio Busquets, and even he's capable of just knocking the ball over the defence into the path of a running or sprinting striker, then they're just so dangerous. Anyone on the ball for Barca is capable of that in the final third, and that makes them so difficult to play against.
It's a long clearance dealt with by the defence. In the end, Sergio Roberto playing it back to Ter Stegen. He picks out Busquets. Getafe is starting visibly to tire.
Yeah.
Dembélé into the Getafe half. He's got an option to his right. He selects it. Sergio Roberto. Dembélé goes down again. Back on his feet. Dinks it over the top. Nobody there. Only Damien Suarez. Again, that's clearly a sign of his very uneven period of adaptation to the club. He hasn't been able to really play minutes with these people out there.
Well, that final ball was disappointing, but the run prior to it was brilliant, and that's why Dembélé offers Barca something completely different. He's a very, very quick, old-fashioned winger in some respects, where he's capable of just getting his head down and taking on just about anyone in front of him and running the length of the pitch.
Busquets on the ball. Now Yerry Mina. Rakitic. Sergio Roberto to Dembélé. Dembélé again didn't seem sure of the channel to thread the pass through. It's won back by Getafe. That's an awkward one indeed for Digne. Did enough to get there ahead of Angel.
Well, he dealt with it brilliantly once again. With his feet, with his head, right foot, left foot. He's been excellent chasing the ball. He hasn't put a foot wrong.
Iniesta, he somehow finds Suarez. The flag up for offside. Luis Suarez and the linesman will end up having words, one gets the impression. Just about getting it right, the official this time.
Yeah, very, very tight indeed.
Finding it hard to stay on his feet, Dembélé, isn't he? Vicente Whiter to take the resulting kick. One in the air by Sergio Busquets. Falls to Portillo. Getafe win the throw. Brilliant images here of the view that Angel had when ballooning that one. Portillo was particularly disappointed not to have received the pass. Busquets gives away another throw in. Damien Suarez to take it. And Barry finding Gaku Shibasaki. He plays it all the way back to Whiter again. Whiter clears. Kept in play by Portillo. Problems for Digne, did well. Iniesta takes a knock and wins a free kick. Very close.
I'm not sure it's offside, you know. I think he was bang in line there, Leo Messi.
Dembélé for Barcelona, 16 and a bit minutes plus stoppage time left. Clearly fouled there by Amathan Ndiaye. And it will be a free kick to Barcelona as Mathieu Flamini prepares to go on. He's usually a player we think of as being in a richer team than Getafe, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, look at his past. Milan and Arsenal, Premier League and Serie A royalty, really. And And now with modest Getafe, 33 years of age, Flamini, so it could well be one of his last clubs, if not his last.
Leo Messi with the free kick, floating it in, finding the head of Yerry Mina. It's on target, but the header finding the gloves of Vicente Whiter. Well, that's another option Barca have found themselves, isn't it? With the height of the Colombian. Rakitic winning that one back right on the centre spot. And that's an excellent interception by Bruno. Absolutely crucial.
Yeah, very good defending on that occasion by Bruno. Read that well, but it was a magnificent pass from Sergio Busquets, who knew exactly what he wanted to do. Pick the ball up quickly, tried to slide it through for Leo Messi.
Jordi Alba. Busquets. Rakitic. Messi. Suarez, it's blocked by Bruno again. The rebound comes to Sergio Roberto. He picks out Leo Messi. Messi taking on Antunes. Still Messi, turning away from Fahir as well. Feeds it wide to Sergio Roberto. The cross blocked by Shibasaki corner.
It's just so difficult to defend against this Getafe side. They're very well organised and they're getting so many bodies behind the ball. And when they're filling their area, you can see the yellow shirts. Of course, they're defending a corner right now, but it's practically the same as when Barca attack, and there's just no space inside the area.
Dembele with a corner, very nearly finding the head of Busquets. It falls down to Alba. Alba's crossing, looking for Mina. It'll be another corner. Dembele to take it. We've become so accustomed to Barca taking corners short. This season they seem to be going long, and it's Mina rising above the rest. The second header in just a couple of minutes play from the Colombian newcomer. And there was a good connection on that.
Yeah, that was a real
header down, knocking it down away from the keeper. I think Whiter would have struggled if that one had just snuck inside the far post.
I think you're right. It's brilliant technique as well. Gets plenty of neck muscle behind that header, and it's a much better effort than the one before. Much closer to being a goal. Before we saw Yerry Mina force a save out of Guaita, but it was a comfortable save on that occasion. Had it been on target, I think it would have almost certainly been a goal.
Well, Angel Rodriguez, the man who will be replaced by Flamini.
You were going to ask me?
No, I was going to say, I think he's put in a really good performance, really demonstrating that he's down with the cause for Bordalas. He's chased absolutely everything. Yeah. Hasn't seen too much of the ball, but when he has, the Barca defence have had to keep a very, very sharp eye out for him. Angel, and I think deserves the rest. He's run himself into the ground today.
I was laughing because Angel, the only man that Getafe aren't putting behind the ball, has just been taken off and replaced by a defensive midfielder. So the tactics for the last 13 minutes or so from Jose Bordalas fairly obvious. Get more bodies behind the ball and just try desperately to defend this 0-0.
A bit of a fantasy ball there from Dembele, repelled by the defence. It falls to the feet of Rakitic. Now Iniesta. Jordi Alba picks out Rakitic again. Sergio Roberto making a move, gets the ball to his feet, whips the cross in, looking for Messi. It's intercepted and cleared by Ian Barry.
And now there's no one there.
Exactly. And perhaps the farthest forward player for Getafe right now. Here's Messi. That's a lovely challenge by Gene. Ball ends up at the feet of Alba. Messi back on his feet, cuts it back. Gene heads clear once again. What a brilliant defender he is.
Yeah, he's fantastic, isn't he? He's so athletic, covers so much ground.
Busquets. Here's Yerry Mina. Sergio Roberto to Dembele. Not the greatest return ball. Rakitic collects it and feeds it through to the Frenchman. And surely he's being held there, Sergio Roberto. Again, the referee allowing a certain amount of physicality. It's Rakitic. Just over 10 minutes left for Getafe to hold on, or for Barcelona to penetrate what until now has been impossible to penetrate. Leo Messi tries a shot from a distance. Whiter spills it. It's going to fall for Alba. Agonisingly across the face of the goal. It's still kept in play by Dembélé. Back to Sergio Roberto. Busquets leaves it for Messi. Messi. Whiter. Well, Messi, it's his trademark move. The little run from right to left, waiting to see the spot. He sees it, hits it, and Whiter, to give him his due, saves well.
It wasn't the best strike, was it, from Messi? And it was a fairly comfortable save, I think, for Whiter in the end. But you're right, it's gearing up for a moment of Messi magic, this game, really, because there's so little between the sides in terms of the final third. Barca really struggling to create clear-cut chances. And Getafe defending very stubbornly, but you just get the feeling a Messi moment of magic could be what separates these two sides.
It was a lovely ball into Suarez from Dembélé. Suarez holding the ball up, trying to feed it to Sergio Roberto. It's held back, it would have appeared, by Antunes. Stolen there by Shibasaki. And finally, got back. Rakitic. Jordi Alba. Rakitic again. Mina. Leo Messi. Through the middle to Dembélé, the flag up for offside yet again.
And a frustrating few minutes from Dembélé. He was unnecessarily caught in an offside position there, although I'm not sure he is, you know, very, very close. He's also given the ball away on a couple of occasions, and you can quite clearly tell that this kind of one-touch football, clever football around the box when there's so many defenders back and it's so difficult to find space, isn't really suiting his game at the moment. He's not been at Barca long enough to understand how this football is played, and he's certainly a player who takes advantage of spaces and likes to run onto balls.
Well, Sergio Busquets has been retired to get a few minutes break, and he's replaced by the hero of the win earlier in the season against Getafe in the Alfonso Perez Coliseum, Paulinho.
And we'll just see Rakitic going into the Sergio Busquets role. Paulinho pushing further forward, and of course he's scored 8 goals this season, level with Getafe's leading goal scorer Angel, so he's a great option to score a winner as well.
Andres Iniesta looking for a return pass to Alba, who was intercepted instead by Portillo. One back by Paulinho. Suarez, Dembélé brought it down nicely enough, and underhits the pass to Messi, was waiting to the groans of the Camp Nou. Dembélé again. Blocked by Antunes. He'll have another opportunity. Trying to turn away from the veteran Portuguese. Ends up in a crumpled heap. And it'll just be a throw to Barcelona, which is taken quickly. Mina. Mina to Digne. Iniesta. Jordi Alba with him. Here's Jordi Alba. Alba looking for Suarez. Whiter once more. He must have antenna. He's so switched on to the danger. He was rapidly off his line to smother that one.
Ball that's furious because he wants to throw on Jorge Molina. We were saying that they've got no one to thump the ball forward to at the moment. You can see Amath has gone down with a spot of cramp, probably a decision after seeing Jorge Molina on the sidelines and realising he can waste a little bit of time. But even so, he's put in a real shift, Amath, no question about it. And for the last few minutes, Jorge Molina will come on as we just see that Yerry Mina chance again. I think the second header was a better chance.
I agree, it was a much better stroke. All in all, a solid debut from Yerry Mina so far. Shibasaki, who's being removed. DIA.
I think it'll be
also
Amath.
leaving it is Amath and DIA.
Shibasaki just getting some much needed water.
On comes Jorge Molina for the closing 5 or 6 minutes. Gives them a big target to look to hit up front. Dembélé on the ball, supported by Sergio Roberto. And he tries to make the impossible pass to Paulinho.
And you hear the groans. The Camp Nou are getting frustrated with Dembélé. He's given away every single ball he's had for the last 5 or 6 minutes or so, and that's probably 3 or 4, 5 poor passes. And also he's been caught offside. Just been a frustrating few minutes from Dembélé, no question.
Iniesta looking for Sergio Roberto, just about won by Adam Barry. It falls to Paulinho. Sergio Roberto. Give it to Messi, gets the return ball. Sergio Roberto, swatted for once, couldn't get the touch he needed. It's kept in play by Alba. Whiter punches clear, and Barry just boots it away. There's a chase for Molina, but he was never getting anywhere near it. The crowd urge Barcelona on again. We're into the last 5 minutes. There won't be very much stoppage time because the referee hasn't stopped the game. Only the substitutions.
Yeah, a couple of minutes for subs, and that's about it. And this is all Getafe can do at the moment. Sit back, and when they do get the ball, just hammer it upfield.
Messi to Rakitic. Iniesta. Alba. Digne. Square to Mina. Striding forward. Dembélé. Holds off Antunes. Finds Sergio Roberto, who's dispossessed, and it will be a throw-in to Getafe. Bordelas is preparing another change. Rakitic. Now Paulinho. It'll be a throw to Barcelona. A free kick. Rakitic takes it quickly, picks out Leo Messi on the halfway line. Messi back to Digne. Now Iniesta. Oh, lovely ball to Suarez. Flag up.
Offside again.
Well, it's frustrating, Suarez. Frustrating for him, frustrating for the fans. Incredibly tight call again. I think just offside. Lovely ball from Iniesta. And just hasn't been working for Luis Suarez today. That's Leandro Cabrera coming on, I believe, to replace Shibasaki. Again, another decent performance from the Japanese.
Yeah, he just looks class, doesn't he?
Absolutely does. Didn't have quite so much joy as he did in the game back on round 4 with that wonder strike of his, but certainly chased everything there was to chase.
Talking about wonder strikes, and we were speaking earlier about a moment of Messi magic potentially separating these two sides. Of course, when you think of Messi magic and you think of Getafe and you think of the Camp Nou, you think of 2007 and that Messi Maradona-esque goal when he picked up the ball just about where Sergio Roberto is now and took on the entire team and the coaching staff and managed to find the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a spectacular moment. I mean, those of us who had the privilege of watching Barcelona knew about Leo Messi, but I think that was one moment where he really burst onto the world scene. Tremendous goal. It was... That's a good ball in, and no problems for White. Has been very, very solid indeed between the sticks today. That was Getafe managed by Bert Schuster, who famously said afterwards, somebody should have just taken his legs off, you know. And I mean, a lot of managers have had that response to Leo Messi over the years. Why didn't you just foul him? You've got to catch him first.
Yeah, but I do get the feeling that if Damian Suarez was playing in that game, maybe Messi wouldn't have ended up scoring that goal.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about that, it was a cup tie, and in the Alfonso Pérez Coliseum the week after, Getafe beat Barca 4-0 and knocked them out of the Copa del Rey. This is a tournament which Barcelona have just qualified for their 5th consecutive final, or 4th?
5th consecutive final. It will be their 4th consecutive win if they win.
They beat Sevilla. When and where We're not quite sure yet, but we'll keep you informed.
Well, we'll probably find out about a week before.
Bordelas, he must be so pleased with the effort his team has put in so far, but he knows that these are the crucial moments, all this work, and it all depends on keeping Barca out for what, another 3 minutes. If you can do it, you return to Madrid a hero. If you can't, well, 3 more points for Barca, another defeat for Getafe, and nobody will be too surprised by that, but it's costing Barcelona blood, sweat and tears as Alba crosses. Bruno sticks the foot out, and they just about get it away. It'll be a throw to Barcelona. Jorge Molina unable to keep that one in play. How many minutes are being added? The 90 are up. 3 minutes. Home fans not too happy with that. I think that's about the maximum he can add. It's Dembélé again, showing his pace. Gets the cross in. What a save from Whiter. Suarez is having one of the most frustrating afternoons of his season so far. That was on target, just dipping under the bar. Whiter in the second half, Duncan, he didn't have much to do in the first. He's been brilliant.
He has. He's made some really, really good saves. That was the best of the lot of them. And finally, we've seen a moment of genius from Dembélé. What a brilliant piece of skill and a superb cross right onto the head of Suarez. Suarez did everything right, but so too did Guaita.
Dembélé again. Overhits the pass to Rakitic. Well, you can see the disappointment he feels. Got to feel for him a little bit, because that's just being unaware. That's just not quite being adapted to your new team.
No, but he can focus on this, because this was brilliant, and this is why he's here. This is what he adds to this team. He's a different player. He gives something slightly different, and there you see Ernesto Valverde furious that they've got just 3 minutes.
But I mean, there have been no stoppages. There's been a little bit of time wasting, hasn't there? When the booking came, I can't remember who got booked. Was it
Gaku, I think, yeah.
But I mean, really, you couldn't add more than 30 seconds for that. Suarez, play on, says the referee. He finds Paulinho. Paulinho back to Jordi Alba just over a minute to go. Here's Iniesta. Just a cross in, it's a good one too. Bruno getting it. And Bruno goes, well, one of the players goes down. He's been given a free kick.
It is Bruno, it's the captain. It was a really good header, and he was being fouled by Paulinho. Paulinho was all over him. Even so, you can see here, Bruno still wins the header, and then decides it's a good moment to have a spot of cramp.
Well, yeah, I mean, fair dues to him. You've said we filled the audience in on what Getafe is as an institution. It's a minnow, and a point here from the Camp Nou would be an astonishing result, as Vicente Whiter is the next Getafe player to pick up a yellow card for time wasting. Sends it long, just seconds left. And a free kick given against Yerry Mina, and a yellow card for the Colombian. Mina not happy. Asking for an explanation. It's Molina. Well, the hand is up, it's raised, it's over the shoulder, not too much in it. If you're going to win the ball in the air off Jorge Molina, you've got to get a bit physical, sure.
Yeah. I think just the fact that he kind of had his hand in his face a little bit is what the referee didn't like.
Well, it means Barcelona have to defend for the closing seconds of this game. Surely Getafe are going to have a go at it. I mean, it's this move and then it's all over. They've got in total 3 men ahead of the ball. It's going to be left for Antunes. He drives it. And very nearly keeping that one under the bar. The final whistle goes. Getafe have taken a point from the Camp Nou. Only Celta have managed it so far this season. And Getafe become the second side to leave with something positive from their visit to the Catalan Coliseum.
The second side to pick up a point at the Camp Nou. The first team this season to stop Football Club Barcelona from scoring. It's the first game in which Barca haven't found the back of the net, and that's why Getafe are so delighted with themselves. They're not just picking a point, but they're picking up a point, but they've stopped the best team in attack in the whole division from finding the back of the net. So a magnificent performance from Jose Bordalas's Getafe. They've been stubborn in defence. We saw them play a bit of football in the first half. They haven't done too much of that in the second half, it has to be said, but they've made things very difficult for Football Club Barcelona. Got everybody behind the ball, closed down the spaces and made it impossible